year, and that money be used for funding of the police overtime and the training of the additional part-time police. And I will also put in there, unless, when Mary Ann calls, that there is some substantial cancellation fees that will cost the township substantial money, which would be wasted. If that's the case, then we will continue on the current path.
Okay,
That's the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Motion's been made and second. Any public comments? Since it wasn't on the agenda, we're adding to the agenda. I see somebody back there. I can't tell who it is. Oh, hi, Jane.
Hi, Jane Kinlan, 34 Main Street. I think that it's a mistake not to go to PSAPs. When you go there, you learn a lot about what's going on, and you get to network with a lot of people and a lot of other townships. And in our particular township, only 3 people get the vote, and only 3 people get to speak out for us. I feel that these 3 people need to be as informed, and they need to be as educated as they can, and they need that networking, especially with the new ordinances, and we're looking at a comprehensive plan, and we have new supervisors on this board that haven't been to these conferences, and I just feel that this is an important piece of education, and they put a lot of work, the association puts a lot of work into this, and when I talk to other townships about their supervisors are well informed, and there is a lot of networking that goes on, and I think that there's probably somewhere else in the budget, and I was here for the budget meetings, and I know some things that we cut, and I know that we're very tight in our township, but I feel that this is something that isn't casual and shouldn't be looked at casually, and that we should educate our supervisors as best we can, because there is a lot going on right now. So I'd just like to...
Any other comments?
Paul Batista, I would agree with going to the conference. I appreciate you guys not wanting to go to save for the police. Just a couple areas that I can think of, since Range pulled back, that we, the permits, that we have money budgeted for legal fees for those hearings and things. And I don't know how your budget works, so there's an opportunity there, okay? The other thing that I'd like to look at is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we retired a police car that is still sitting here, and at that meeting when it was retired, it was supposed to be scrapped. Can we go around and pick up some scrap out of the yard and stuff here, and maybe pick up a couple bucks that way? I mean, it's, every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
Okay, but I think we can put a few pieces of equipment around this stuff. Scrap isn't high right now, but maybe that's the way we can look at our own garage and figure out some ways.
Actually,
Good idea.
the police car is used by Larry. That the one you use? The old police car?
No, I use the old Explorer.
Oh, okay. Bill?
Bill Forrest, I would agree with those 2. I think it's important, and I think you guys deserve to go. Not that anyone who's ever been to any conference thinks that going is a reward.
No.
But I think you deserve it from really equipping you guys. I think it's a good thing. And I know you can't get blood out of a rock, but I'd say really try to find a way to get there.
Will you withdraw your motion?
No. Any other comments? Motion on the floor has been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no?
No.
No.
Okay.
We'll find some other place to get it, Gary.
Good luck. I went through that.
Get your can and pencils.
Yep.
My lottery ticket.
Mr. Chairman, also, we're still in discussion items, are we not?
Yes, we are. We went went backwards one.
Yes, okay. Given the comments that we have heard tonight with regards to the impoundments and with regards to problems at the Cowden site and what have you, it seems to me that we really need to schedule an executive session with Chuck Maines. We had a memo from him back in October identifying for us the options that the township has for dealing with the impoundments. They continue to be a thorn in our side, and we need to get this issue resolved. So I request that you schedule, as soon as is humanly possible, an executive session at a time and place that Chuck Maines can meet with us to go over those options.
I can do that.
Good.
Do you want to be involved in that executive session also?
Yeah, I do, but I think you should rethink the wisdom of bringing Chuck down. He wrote you a memo, he's talked to you guys numerous times about this. I don't know that you need to bring Chuck in to have him tell you the same thing again. I'm not saying you don't need an executive session, because there's multiple moving parts to this. The NOVs are just one.
Ready to go.
You know what I mean? So, I mean,
Right.
I don't know, Denzel, that he's not gonna say anything different than he said many times to you.
Yes,
And he put it in writing.
yes.
So, at his rate, why are we doing that again?
Well, if you're going to be there, I'm happy.
That's the first I've heard that.
That he's happy?
So I'm gonna
Well,
be there.
but we did pass
Yeah, that's
a
fine.
motion making Chuck our legal counsel for the impoundment issue.
Yeah,
And the impoundment issue is still active. And that's the only reason that I suggested that Chuck be a part of that process. But if you're willing to be, I'm
Well,
fine
the
with
old-
that.
I understand what Nita's saying because I read Chuck's memo.
Yeah,
I understand what Chuck's rate is.
I think there needs to be some further explanation on some of that.
which is fine if that's
I would
what
at
you
least like,
think.
I would at least like to sit down once and talk to Chuck.
If I were you guys, I'd go there then.
Yeah, and I have no problem,
Okay.
I have no problem going to Chuck's office
I don't know.
and meeting
I
there.
can do that.
I think it would be more efficient.
Okay,
I'm not discouraging you from talking to Chuck, because he'll be great to enlighten whatever you want clarification on.
he has been very
I
helpful.
just think this is like the third time he's gone over that issue, so.
Yes,
We will try and set it up,
good,
and we'll do it there.
okay,
And I can go there
Good.
if I need to.
good.
Okay.
I-
Okay. We need to have discussions on job descriptions.
You want to do that tonight? I didn't bring mine with me.
Ooh. I thought that was what we said, we would do that tonight.
I do not recall that.
I have mine.
I did my whole thing. You want to postpone it?
No, I've been over them and looked at them. If you'll let me look over your shoulder, why,
Definitely look over my
we'll be
shoulder.
good.
I think this is something we need to,
I thought because You were pushing me to get them reviewed for tonight's meeting. I felt like I was a student in your class. You gotta have this homework done.
There's been job descriptions in the township, and they needed to be, I guess, updated. And that's what we're going to talk about, unless, if you think it's gonna take too long.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm okay.
We'll start.
Do we need to make Denzel a copy of, or?
You have an extra copy of them?
I mean, I can go make one.
I can look over your shoulder here.
I have notes.
Oh, you don't want me to see your notes? Okay.
That's on yours.
I can run out to the coffee.
I did not put notes on mine. I had it on.
That's all right. We'll take them in some sort of order here.
Feels like it.
We'll do the easy ones first, which is park seasonal maintenance. And as I looked over that, the only thing that I saw was at the last page, it says except the parks maintenance position. It should still be parks seasonal maintenance, which is what the title is.
No, not mine, I make notes on.
Go get it. I need a drink. I'm talking too much. Didn't bring any mints.
That's same as being the chair, is it not?
What's that?
You need to drink of water. That's the problem with being a chair.
It's just really hot in here.
Yes, it
Oddly
is.
enough, it's been hot in like a
Fifties the following weekend, seasons, and just in time, it's gonna warm up here. Down there.
What days are better for you?
It doesn't matter to me as long as it's not on like a meeting night, so the first Tuesday's always bad for me. Any other Tuesday's fine. Second Monday's bad. Second Monday, first Tuesday, that's all I gotta say.
Friday, I go golfing.
turn.
There you go.
I'd like to ask one question, but I think
It's hot air.
At the beginning of the year?
Well, no, yeah, I'm not worried about that, but I think I need to ask it in executive session, I don't want to ask it. Regarding either in some role in this.
He was originally appointed right at the same time I was hired.
We good to go now?
And that's,
In,
That's all right.
yeah.
Next one, talk about is the EMT firefighter. And I went through that and I saw no changes on that one. I think that was
which,
EMT firefighter.
yeah, the only question on that I had, and I actually ran into the fire chief, I just wanted to make sure, and I had talked to Mary Ann too, that he reviewed that
Yes.
and was okay with it, and he said that he did.
Yep. Director of Public Works. I didn't have anything to add or change on that. I think the additions, the stuff that we made on that were okay.
And Bill didn't have any.
And Bill did.
No, I saw Bill's comments, he didn't have any. I just have some questions on this. First, a couple of the questions kind of pertain to multiple ones. If a department submits a budget and that budget's approved, there's reference in here that anything that they buy out of their budget in excess of $250, it has to go get approval. Has that always been the procedure here? If it's in the police department budget, if it's in the public works road crew's budget, and do they track their own budgets? What's the procedure? I'm just wondering if they need to go purchase something, you're in public works. Anything you buy, a lot of stuff you buy is gonna be over $250.
Right.
What? Recommend the purchase of tools, equipment, and materials to the township manager in excess of $250. If they need it, and they know it's within their budget and it's not gonna exceed their budget, do they go, how does that work? I just wanna know how that works.
Well, you know, it's been pretty non-regimented. We do have a
Okay.
capital plan, and I haven't looked at it in a while, but I believe it's like $500 that they were giving people. You know, the thought was that normal, routine, day-to-day items, filters, things like that, they can go get.
Do they,
Usually,
does Bill track his own budget, or who tracks that budget?
I track all the budget, you know, just via the different reports that we do.
Right, but I mean, individually, does each, and I know there's not a lot of departments here, but do they track their own budget also?
I'm sure they probably do.
Okay.
And you bring up that 250, I know that's an issue.
Well, I had
Lou.
I had the same comment in the police.
Yeah, because when
one,
he
too.
orders, he just mentioned the other day, he's gonna order ammo, and it's $800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All expenses get approved.
Right.
The question is, should they be approved in advance or as a bill paid on your warrant
Correct.
list? And so that's a threshold you need to decide at what point you need to control it. Because even if just because it's in the budget doesn't mean it's
Right,
approved.
it still has to
Right,
be.
it's still, I'm not saying that
Yeah.
it's still gonna come
No,
through
it
our
still
bill.
has to get
Yeah, so it
approved.
doesn't
I
come
understand
before
that.
or after. So you could increase the cap if you thought
Right.
it made sense.
In fact,
The way this was worded, I almost took it as before they recommend the purchase of tools, equipment, and material to the township manager in excess of $250. Like,
Before they can do it.
before they could buy it, they had to recommend it to Mary Ann, and then
Well,
you
it sounds like
purchased it?
that's what it says.
I thought it was the other way. It's recommend if in excess of 250.
Yeah, if it's above 250, they have to go.
Yeah.
They have to go to you and you have to purchase it.
I don't purchase it, we talk about it, we look at the
Okay.
budget, we
Okay.
talk about what else could possibly be coming up. It's basically an avenue to discuss the budget and, you know, what can take place, you know, trying to predict a little bit in the future, what else could come up. Is this a necessity? Facilitates a discussion, you know, and that's the figure that, you know, the board was talking about.
The next question, on 16, plow and treat the township owned and leased properties, roads, parking lots, township sidewalks during episodes of winter weather, and utilize part-time winter maintenance employees in order to adhere to CDL driving requirements and then maintain the township budget. Do we still have part-time call-out people?
No?
We don't have it now?
Not right now, right?
Not right now.
Currently.
Who was on that list before?
Well, there was a bunch of people, but it kind of just dropped off.
We need to rebuild it.
And I first made a comment, utilize full-time and part-time winter maintenance employees. Because it doesn't say utilize full-time employees in that comment anywhere.
Yeah.
But then you get down to adhere to CDL driving requirements, so.
Right.
Is it a given that you're using the full-time and it's written that the part-time is to supplement the full-time when?
I think that's the original idea from the snow removal
And it wouldn't hurt to
standpoint.
add full-time,
To reduce the overtime and to make sure the CDL requirements are met. To the extent you're using CDL drivers. You could add full-time to that, but the idea is for it to be managed to minimize overtime and address the safety concerns.
because you have to, right now, if you don't have a part-time list, you gotta use a full-time anyway, so you need to add that to there.
Right, that's,
Right.
So you could do part-time and or full-time.
yeah. The other comment I had was, and I don't know when this came about, and I don't know that either one of you were here, but with us being such a small municipality, why don't we just utilize a full working foreman? And we have 4 employees and a public works director now. Why not have just a public works working foreman that oversees and works right with the public works department? When you look at the other municipalities around us here, that's similar in our size, I don't see a public works director similar to a South Fayette Township or a Cecil or a North Fayette or a Findlay or a North Strabane. I mean, we're not that big. So I don't know why, and it's not, it's nothing personal, it's just, we're small. I would rather have the employees, have a working foreman that's out there.
Well, isn't that the way we've been operating? I mean, our director is a working director.
Well, it's written in here that will work approximately 25% indoors in work surroundings and with average workspace temperatures, disruption, and stress, and works approximately 75% outdoors with average exposure to noise, vibration, smoke, dirt, dust, and the elements, and is expected to monitor and work with the Public Works Department employees on a regular basis. I'm not sure, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm not sure that we need somebody overseeing everything they're doing. I would rather have somebody be a working foreman that's standing there working right along with them, actually doing the work.
But isn't that
And I'm
what-
not saying, I'm not referring to plowing snow, I'm talking when you're,
Paving roads,
or
Fixing
digging ditches
ditches
or
or-
doing whatever, We're small, and we've talked about budget items, I'm just, you guys can tell me I'm crazy, maybe I am.
no, you bring it up, and I think there's a lot of credence to that, because we are small. And having a working foreman makes more sense to me now, the more I think about it.
But I don't
And I
understand.
remember sitting over there in meetings earlier when this Public Works, and I'm not sure when this title was created, but I remember sitting there when there was discussions like this going on. And I don't recall back then, but as I was sitting here reviewing this, I just,
I guess I don't understand what the difference would be if we made Bill foreman. Would he not still be operating 25/75? 25% of the time doing the kinds of things that he does here now? as a foreman and 75% of the time working in the field with? I don't understand what the difference would be.
I'm not sure that there would be much difference. I'm just not sure that I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not sure that we're big enough now where we need a public works, a director of public works. I would rather have 5 guys that are public works workers and one being the foreman overseeing the work. And we can move on from this one because I knew this would be an issue, but I just wanted to bring that point up. And if there's something, that I'm not thinking about, or, there's another comment, let me know.
Well, I just want to see what the changes are going to be. If we change the description from Director of Public Works to Public Works Foreman, what else is going to change in that description? I don't know. What's going to change in terms of what is done as the director as opposed to foreman?
I think if you change it, I would rather, I'm not sure that I don't see as much actual work being done with this description. I would rather see 5 guys doing work. If there's a meeting that needs to be attended, the meeting go attend the meeting. Or if one, and I'm not even sure, I'm assuming that's who checks the one calls and everything else, do the one that calls first thing in the morning or the end of the day. But I would rather have 5 people doing physical work, because, we haven't tarred and chipped roads in 3 years. We haven't done a lot of stuff in this township, public works related, that need to be done.
Well,
And I would rather have a crew working with a foreman leading them to do it.
okay, perhaps,
We can debate on the title, whatever you want.
well, perhaps I'm naive, but it seems to me that I see our Public Works Director out there working about as much as I see anybody else working. And Walnut Road, where I live, is tarred and chipped every year. I just don't see what,
Walnut a state road?
no.
No, it's not your thing.
Then it hasn't been tarred and chipped in the last 3 years.
Well, no, I guess it has not, but it has been maintained.
Like patch holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just don't see what the difference is between what you're suggesting and what we have already.
Well, I think we're gonna have to hold off on this no matter which way we go, until we have further discussions on the public works contract.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there are lots of different issues
Yeah.
with that we should probably,
Yeah.
that go beyond.
I think at this
that
point,
go beyond
that's
the
what
description.
we're gonna need to.
So are you gonna vote on each description? or
Well, I think
you-
tonight we're just having some discussions. If
Then
we
you'll
get
send
some
it
of
back.
these done, then maybe we'll vote, but I think we're just having some
Okay,
further discussions. Zoning. There was some comments come in on that one. And one was the essential job functions 1 and 2. And I kind of read that over. And I tend to agree with the comments that they're very similar. It could be combined. There was a question about the quarterly inspections and how that be accomplished. I would hope they're being that stuff is being done as he travels around the township.
What has been the policy in the township on violations? If there's a complaint, there's a violation, or if he sees a violation, it's written up?
That's written up.
Yeah.
Is that the way it's done now?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's documented. And if it warrants letter or whatever, then,
I almost always do a letter first, and then a citation would be the last ditch effort in normal cases. Most cases, you send a warning letter and it's taken care of.
Does that also apply to the issue that Bill raised with regards to traffic, truck traffic between 7 PM and 7 AM?
Well, now you're getting into a whole different area. What I'm referring to is the normal type of burning on a Sunday, or those minor types of things that I know if I send a warning letter or send a citation, ultimately drag somebody down to the magistrate, that it's not gonna cost the township hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees and lead to other actions.
The question that he was asking had to do with the hours of operation violation.
I need some direction from the board as to how I'm to proceed on that matter as related to the oil and gas issues.
I don't know why we have so little respect for our ordinance. I guess I would urge us to enforce our ordinance in that regard.
The hours of operation piece is not particularly challenging.
Right.
Either they're operating after the hours in the zoning ordinance or they're not.
but
You have to
I
decide what to
think
do with
there is
that.
some wording in that ordinance which offers some leeway for certain conditions, right?
I
And
believe so.
that's what I will call a gray area.
Have to look at it, may not be so gray.
So,
The other pieces of it, I'll agree are troubling, but I'm not sure the hours of operation are.
Well, we have a number of troubling issues with that in regards to our ordinance, that's for sure, ordinances. But I don't know, that seems pretty clear to me. But we'll look at it.
Please.
So anyway, I think item 1 and 2 need some work to be combined into one. And as far as detailed reports,
The conduct quarterly inspections of the township for possible ordinance violations and submit a detailed report of findings and actions taken. I know when I was on the planning commission, this was discussed. The township doesn't have, or has never adopted, for instance, the ICC International Property Maintenance Code. They have, which has life, safety, welfare issues that can be enforced, and other things like that in it. So this conduct quarterly inspections of the township for possible ordinance violations, or is it just zoning ordinance, we're just talking zoning ordinance violations because you're just enforcing the zoning ordinance? What ordinances are we talking, the zoning, burning?
All of them.
All of them.
All the nuisance ordinances,
The nuisance
yeah.
ones, yeah.
oh,
In addition to zoning.
junk cards,
Yeah, I mean, all the nuisance ordinances.
I guess the way in which I was looking at these, I mean, we get these detailed,
right?
Yeah,
We-
and I-
monthly
yeah,
reports.
and that's the
Right.
first, yeah, I saw that.
yeah. And I guess the way in which I was thinking about those.
Because that's what I'm thinking, when you get a monthly report
We
in
do.
this, so
Okay.
what is this conduct a quarterly inspection?
Because he does it routinely anyway, so.
I
Yeah.
actually, well, the first time I read it, I thought he was gonna do an inspection of the township building.
Yeah, I don't.
That should be scratched, and just, if we stick with item 1, perform a routine visual assessment of the township for compliance with township ordinances. Submit monthly report of findings and actions taken. I mean, that,
I think that's sufficient.
agree with
I
that?
don't know where the quarterly thing came from.
Yeah.
On number 8, assist in the preparation or amendment of all new and existing ordinances. I think there should be something additional there pertaining to zoning and land development. I don't know that Larry needs to be involved in an ordinance dealing with a pension plan or something to that effect.
I would say zoning, land development, and nuisance ordinances, because there could be a grass.
Yeah,
Right.
just
junk or
insert those,
whatever.
would that address?
Yeah, that's fine. I
Zoning.
just, the way it was worded,
Yeah,
Land
it
development
looks like it's
any
all
ordinance that we're
ordinances.
doing, he's helping.
Right,
and nuisance ordinances,
it needs the qualifiers,
all right.
okay?
Another comment was back to item 4, issue citation to persons found in violation of township ordinances appearing in the magistrate district's office on behalf of the township. Somebody that was come back and provide testimony, evidence. Well, if you're representing the township, that's obviously what it's there for. I don't think we need to add that. Next comment was on 17, maintains professional relations with the public. Wanted to add in, provide assistance as appropriate. I don't have a problem with that
I
either.
don't either.
Um, 25, coordinate and update all information and forms with the office staff. Add, create new forms as needed.
Okay, yeah.
Under required knowledge, skills, physical requirements, add, actually, item 15 and 16, must hold a valid driver's license and must pass random drug tests. Because the township can do random drug tests
Yes.
for people that drive our vehicles.
Okay.
Do you do that for anyone else? Because you actually have to set that up with an outside agency.
Yeah, we have a non-CDL testing program.
And recommendation, is under equipment usage.
That should have said valid and insurable driver's license. If it doesn't, will you insert that?
Valid and insurable. Insurable.
I thought that I had put that in all of them, but I must not have.
Okay. Equipment usage, and I don't agree with this one, operate decibel meter, other specialized detection equipment is provided and be trained by qualified personnel. I don't agree with that because there's too much training and then there's all kind of calibrations and I think that's.
You would almost always hire that out.
I was gonna say, do we own one?
No. We do?
We do,
Would it stand up in the court of law?
No.
not without a,
Nothing
That's why the,
I agree with
that's
you.
why the
I mean, if
trained,
we're gonna,
That-
if
that's
we're gonna
something-
do that, you gotta hire.
You're gonna have to
You
hire
have to
somebody.
anyway.
You don't,
Yeah, if you're
because
serious
it's,
about it.
yeah.
There's still got budget money.
So that's all the changes on that one, and I think that makes that a pretty good,
I have a couple other
Yeah.
comments on that. On this one, originally, Larry, you had and it's not in here anywhere, Larry was the BCO for the township.
Yes, at one time.
Now we contract all of that out.
Right.
And, this might not be a question for here, but, as we move forward, I would prefer to have somebody be the BCO here, whether the inspections are done in-house or not. I would prefer the building code official be here. It was my understanding that you just did
It was a matter of the recurrency training. And now it's, you almost have to go to Enola for a week to get the training, the recertification done. Because otherwise you have to go to those individual classes and get.
there's
15
individual
credit
classes
hours.
around here. You can drive, Cranberry has them all, there's ones, if you monitor their website, Cranberry, Washington, there's ones around here. I would, the Commonwealth Building Officials group, I think it's like $50 to join in. They're always providing seminars. I would prefer, one of the reasons I voted no on the whole budget thing for seminars is, and it's one of the things I'm gonna bring up in my discussions too, is I would prefer to have somebody with a certification with this. And
You can't, you're not gonna wanna afford it. That's the issue.
I'm not saying the building code official, I'll afford it. I have,
Having somebody with the full certifications?
just for the building code official.
Not the inspections.
Not a certified building
I see what you're
official,
saying.
just the BCO.
Still farm out the inspection.
Still
Right.
farm out the inspection. Oh, yeah,
I see
I
what you're
agree.
saying.
This township cannot afford
No,
an
you can't
in-house
afford
I
that.
see what you're saying.
But a building code official, you should,
Just so we can have more control over the processing, at least what Larry did originally.
any idea what the cost would be for that training?
Not offhand, but the recertification is a week-long class. When I took it, it was a day and a half. I don't know what in the world they're teaching BCOs that's gonna last a whole week, honestly.
Is that just for the BCO though?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, there are several disciplines. There's the BCO part, which just means that that person.
Yeah, and I'm just, for this, I'm just talking BCO. I'm not talking,
And that's fine.
I'm not talking
No inspections.
international
Right, that's
residential
right.
inspector or
Right.
commercial. I'm not
Right,
talking any
just
of that.
that's super long to get, super expensive to get and maintain. And we don't do that many
No.
building permits in a year to
Right.
warrant that. We really don't.
But at least that way, some of that permit fee money at least could come in here.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna get the review fees and all of that. What do we get right now on a building permit? They get it all.
No, we get the building permit money. They get the money for the inspections on the building permits. So, for example, you come in to build a new house, the cost on that is 25 cents per square foot of living space. Township gets that. What K2 gets is all the electrical inspection, the plumbing inspection, all the inspections that lead up to the certificate of occupancy. They get that money. And it's about the same.
So even if we had the BCO, we're not gonna get any more money,
Right, we'll get the same amount of money.
but we'll control it.
Well, we actually do control it anyway, because I have to give a zoning certificate which tells K2, the BCO, that it's okay for the township for you to build what you want to build, where you want to build it. So it's the same process, whether I or your zoning officer is going to do the the BCO part or just the zoning part. It's the same information that's collected, same process basically. So that's what I do. I get the zoning certificate, give that to Frank Monac, and then he issues the building permit. So he acts as the BCO.
If you were the BCO, you could issue the building permit.
Right.
Yeah,
They just review the plans.
they
They stamp the
they
plans.
would review and stamp the plans, exactly right.
Well, why don't we, obviously, we're not gonna vote on these tonight, but, why don't we check into what it would cost to have him certified as a BCO?
$2,200. I looked it up. $2,200.
2,200?
From the building, for the fire academy company.
And,
Are you gonna look that up? But you need to ask what
Well,
that person can do with that cert.
yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's, I brought it up as a comment, I mean, I'm.
Yeah.
no, but I think that's a valid comment.
And the reason I have no problem getting the
Right.
recertification if you choose to go that route. Not a problem.
Anything else on that one?
No, that would.
Alright. Oh. Let's do administrative assistant. Comments on that one was remove 5 and 6. Is she typed in township minutes now?
No.
No. And currently you're the right to know officer. We talked about passing that over, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
And it seems to me that we need someone else here. Perhaps we need to put in for number 5 as needed, which
Yeah.
was on my notes.
Yeah.
And with regards to the right to know officer, I would really prefer to keep Mary Ann as the right to know officer, but she could certainly,
There is no backup, it's one person that's a right to know officer, and
That's
that's
right.
it. So
That's right.
We're just gonna scratch that then.
we can, I think we can scratch it.
Yeah.
On 5, you just added as needed.
As needed.
Maybe we should say as directed. I'm not sure.
Number 16, assist with grant applications and maintenance thereof. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I don't either, and it's not all that difficult.
No.
I think that she may be confusing what it is that she's
Right,
expected to
just
do
needs-
there.
right.
And generally, it would be
Just
to.
need some explanation.
That's right.
The comment about the number 17. Comment was, it's limited with what I can do to update website. I can add events to calendar and update the minutes. Blank training was not helpful with anything more complicated than that. And I do have an IT background, so evidently the training was,
She said I do not have an IT
I,
background.
oh, I do not.
I think she's doing fine. She's doing more than updating the minutes and the events.
Okay,
She's doing a lot more than that, so I
Alright.
think it's fine.
all right.
And if we need them to provide some additional training,
Get it.
Yeah, I mean,
you
nobody
know,
got,
yeah.
nobody
That's
has
right.
an
I
IT
mean, if there's
background.
Right,
You know.
If there's something over anybody's,
Can always get training.
right.
or, I mean, or have an IT person come in here and do something, I mean,
Sure.
Yeah.
or
They
a
have
high
a
school, or a
maintenance
high school
agreement.
kid.
They have a maintenance agreement with them
Right.
anyway.
fifth grading. 19, maintain office filing system, purge records in accordance with the Records Retention Act.
I would simply add to that in consultation with the township manager.
Yeah, because township manager or the board has to have the ultimate decision on
That's
what.
Well,
right.
you guys actually have the ultimate say
Right.
with a resolution to do it.
Yeah.
Right,
You know, so it's just like a step process.
right.
In consultation with the township manager and board of supervisors.
If there's a resolution needed to purge records, why don't we just say
Per resolution.
per the resolution once it's adopted?
Ah,
Yeah,
that's simple, yeah.
Is that how you do it by resolution, right?
yeah,
I just say per
per resolution once adopted.
resolution.
Is that, so we're taking out the consultation part
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we're saying what?
per resolution once it is
That way
adopted.
somebody doesn't make a mistake and there's a resolution we're purging this and
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah. I think that's the only other comment.